Hi everyone, it's Sabrina Jean. If you're listening to this, you are a YouTube member. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Doesn't matter if you are on the intuitive knowing, intuitive mastery, or the transformative alchemy membership. The information I'm about to share with you, is for each and every one of you, because I know that you are searching for something more or something deeper, perhaps a deeper understanding or awareness, to empower yourself. So where do I begin? I begin with right now, today, the energy of the moment. And literally just over the last 24 to 36 hours, I stepped up into a heightened realization of not only the meaning of life, but the meaning of existence and the meaning of, those who call themselves light workers. I like to just consider it your soul's purpose, your spiritual purpose. And especially with what we're dealing with in our external realities all across the planet. In the bigger picture, there's a separation, maybe even a battle or a conflict between darkness and light, however you want to look at it. It could be negativity or positivity, fear or love. And we're just a few days before the next new moon, which this new moon is going to be in Pisces, encouraging all of us to open up our hearts and connect with, or to realize that we are an aspect of the whole. We are whole and unconditionally loved from, the oneness, the universe. However, if you watch the news, and I really try not to watch too much news, but there are still many battles between the two happening all across the planet. And I think I've realized ever since I was little, I've always said things to people to wake them up, to make them become aware of something within themselves, or to help them become aware of a truth, which might not necessarily be a truth. And actually, I've always experienced adversity because, nobody wants to be told that, they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, or, they're here for a different reason. No one really enjoys being told that kind of information, but when I was a child, I was pretty straightforward. And honestly, I think through all of my life's experiences so far, I'm returning to myself, my childlike self, seeing the light in everyone and wanting to just pop their bubble and help them to wake up and realize that they are loved, that they are loved. Easier said than done. However, in my process, over the last day or so, I have some books, digital books in my library that I've had for maybe 10 years. And honestly, I've been called back to one of my books. It's titled Bringers of the Dawn, written by, I don't remember her name, Barbara Marciniak, I think, who channels Pleiadians. And the other day I thought, okay, something is calling me back to the book. And what's funny is that 10 years ago when I bought the book, I read it and I was completely amazed by it, but I didn't understand it. And now I completely understand everything that is described. And I'm not here trying to tell you to change what you believe in, but I want to share with you something that I didn't pick up on in the book 10 years ago. Technically, And I don't actually know the actual date that this began. But there were certain entities that existed on the planet that kind of put our human bodies into dormant mode. Supposedly, we had the DNA and the abilities to tap into multidimensional realities so that we could connect with or receive all information that we could ever possibly need. Here in this human existence on Earth, we have these abilities inside of our human bodies, or at least we used to. Our ancient ancestors or our ancient selves used to be able to access all dimensions in a moment's notice. But fear or negativity or darkness or entities that wanted more power and control and greed for their own purposes somehow claimed power over the earth and humans and started changing the DNA, limiting us. And this is actually kind of insulting if you think about it this way, limiting our power, which made us forget our sovereignty and who we truly are as beings of light, and that we are worthy of everything, that we're all creators, and we can technically create everything that we believe. But if the DNA strands and everything is reduced to a point where you kind of have to sacrifice your liveliness or your happiness or your ability to survive to something other than yourself, that's the awareness that everyone is waking up to right now in current times. And from what I can understand, our emotions, especially deep fears that arise as emotions, the more we allow that, the more we plug into that, the more we hold on to that fear, it's like food for the negative energy that's on the planet. And the negative energy survives off of that food, that negative emotion, that fear. Kind of makes you want to think about the Matrix movie, right? And if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to give it away, but literally when Neo woke up and he realized that he was plugged into something and that he had forgotten who he really was, that he'd been sleeping, that's kind of the same thing that supposedly has been happening in humans for, again, an unlimited amount of time. I'm not sure how long it's been this way, but coming back to my book, which this book was actually written in the 90s, it's saying that through a process of time and solar flares and other activity like the geomagnetic activities and stuff, what's happening is they are reprogramming and recreating our DNA so that we can fully access this library of knowledge of the earth and all of the layers and all of the dimensions, the truth of everything that exists, the truth of, the true purpose of the planet Earth and the universe. People are slowly, and it's, from what I can understand, it's a physical realignment that once the DNA and all those strands have been stitched back together so that it can access the library, let's just call it the halls of Amenti, right? The halls of learning, the Akashic records, then everyone's going to be awake and see the truth and realize that we all have our own unique light and our own independent creative power to create and manifest whatever it is that we need for our soul. Our soul's purpose. So enter Sabrina Jean into, YouTube land and offering readings to try and help people to understand their purpose or to help them heal or let go of, things so that they can evolve. In a sense, my whole purpose has elevated too over the decades. And in my perspective, I have learned that understanding astrology and the transits and how astrology affects us also has everything to do with the reason why we're here in this human experience. Technically, I believe our spiritual purpose, our soul's purpose, is to be born into a human body that has limitations and restrictions so that we can experience this earth reality within like a unique set of criteria. It's limited, it's restricted, right? From a soul's perspective, the soul is whole, it's oneness. If the soul immediately has access to anything, everything, all timelines, all existence, right? All beings, all layers of time, the soul just is, consciousness just is. And so when we choose to incarnate into the human body, we are extremely limiting ourselves from our natural soul's awareness of all that is. And literally that is all that exists in this world, beyond the earth. So the earth in itself is also limited to a certain extent, just for the sake of this 3D experience. And I have come to learn through my experiences over the last decades, when I began to understand how astrology transits were changing my life or even changing me, that's when I started becoming more aware of all the meanings of everything else, the metaphysical meanings, the energy of numbers, the invisible, that was causing me to feel something that wasn't there, that I could see with my eyes. I was waking up to the truth. And I can only assume if you've gotten a reading from me or if you have joined, become a member, then you're probably in the process of waking up to your truth too. And the more individuals that wake up to the truth of their light and who they really are as a soul, they will no longer feed fear or surrender to fear, including the emotions that cause fear. And they too will realize and will embrace the light, and that light that switches on within each one of us anchors a frequency into the earth wherever we are living at this particular time on the planet. We are frequency holders. And so this morning in my thought process, I was thinking, well, dang, I don't even really need to share information with people or try to get people to understand anything, which is what I've been trying to do. But from what I can understand now, when we all wake up to our own light and our creative source of light and energy within ourselves to create something new, to create a new reality, or create change for ourselves, it's something that's anchored and activated in the earth, which will also affect other people. It will help other people to wake up and activate this light within them too. And the light, of course, is going to eliminate the fear. The love is going to awaken the hearts of all the others. And the more lights that light up in the hearts will activate more lights and more hearts. And then sooner or later, the fear will just cease to exist all across the planet. And so, of course, the more you can enlighten yourself with new information, the higher your frequency is going to go. And as we're approaching this new moon in a few days, this new moon in Pisces, it's a perfect opportunity, I think, to set an intention specifically, individually, to simply just love the fears that arise, because fear is an emotion, and emotions are information. Emotions are messengers. And so we're either going to love that information or we're going to fear that information. And I think this new moon Pisces can help anyone to distinguish the difference between the two and recognize when something is trying to cause you fear or if something is trying to bring you love. There's definitely going to be a difference in how you're feeling or how you're responding to the emotions that are rising. Even for myself, in recent days, I've been having dreams about family members that I don't usually dream about, and realizing that it's triggering fears, emotional things and fears from my past even, that were caused by siblings, my parents. And as a metaphysicist, if I can call myself that, it's my job to recognize that it's the information or the ether that is presenting itself as an opportunity to be healed and released. It's no longer a necessary fear or memory that even needs to stay in my DNA or anyone else's DNA on the planet either. So I'm hoping the energy work and releasing that I do to clear out mine, what's surfacing in my reality and my dreams, will also, release other people from the same sort of frequencies and patterns and cycles. And honestly, I think the more of us that can do light work, energetic work, the more power we will have on the collective to help wake other people up, which hopefully will allow us to avoid war. War, any kind of wars, all kind of wars because most wars are based on fear and power, or fear they're going to lose power. They need to claim more power. And so those who are in fear themselves are doing things to cause people to react in fear on the planet. And from my perspective, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to feed into that. I'm not going to be your meal ticket to feed off of, negative emotion or fear that you're trying to cause as a trigger within me. I mean, this is my mindset, my perspective. I'm not feeding into the fear. I've already surrendered to the love. And so if I can help anyone else in their own same sort of process, you'll also realize it's the alchemy of switching to love and not fear, which is the powerful source that will change your reality entirely. So whatever reality you're living in right now or experiencing that might be causing more fear or disruption can be changed instantaneously when you start focusing on more love rather than allowing fear to control you. And since most of you, or at least half of you who have become members on my YouTube channel, I have not had a live phone conversation with. So I'm not trying to speak for everyone. I'm wanting to declare that I'm here to help you to release anything that's causing you fear, because I think the more that we can tune into love, the faster everyone else is going to wake up to the realization that you too are a powerful co-creator. The only entity that denies you anything is yourself and your way of thinking and your beliefs. So at the end of the day, what is it that you truly believe that you are able to manifest or change for yourself? Because from my perspective, you have the power to change anything. You can change everything about yourself if you choose to change everything that you believe. If you choose to detach from your current reality and realize that Any sort of chaos is necessary to create change, but chaos only allows for a space to reorganize. It doesn't necessarily need to cause or create fear. Thank you for listening to me. If you have any questions or feedback, you can feel free to comment on the video, the audio, or you can email me at any time. And if any one of you are curious about, well, your soul's purpose right now, in this exact moment in time, in the history of the earth and whatever life path you are experiencing, then feel free to reach out to me, email me, let me know. And I will create an audio reading for you. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day today. And I will see you in another video. Bye for now.